Aoibheann's Pink Toy was set up in 2010 by Mick Rochford and myself, Jimmy Norman. We started it after my daughter Aven passed away from a very rare form of cancer called adrenal cortical carcinoma. We started as a practical organisation because we seen the financial difficulties of parents when their child was going through childhood cancer. So the whole idea of Aoibheann's Pink Toy is to be a practical support organisation, supporting the mother and father and putting our arms around the child. Anything that we can do to help them, we will do it.
We're outside 80 Drimna Road, Aven's Lighthouse. We purchased this property in 2018 and we spent 9 long months then in 2019 renovating it to the standard it is now, and it's a home from home for families of children with cancer all over Ireland. We haven't been here for a while, so we're looking forward to going in and see how the place looks.
Stairs are beautiful.
But it's so poignant as soon as you open the door, you can see it from the road there.
And so that's one of the things that the idea of the house was born on St John's Wort. It was watching families from all over the country having to travel up to Dublin, and I seen the great hardship that people were suffering. The financial difficulties for parents is huge because one parent's always going to have to give up work. The accommodation problems are massive. And I said, you know, wouldn't it be great if there was some time that we could do something like this and stop the horrors I seen of man having to sleep in his car, people having to sleep on floors, you know, people having to share houses and basically go begging for help. And I didn't want to ever see that again. And it was always part of our DNA that we were going to do this.
This project was a massive undertaking. The property was in a state of disrepair, needed to be completely overhauled and upgraded. With all the efforts that went in over them 9 months and the support that we had from everybody, the incredible work, you know, nobody stopped. Everyone was just giving it 110%. It was a labour of love from start to finish and something that we're all very proud of. The funding came from a huge event in 2018. The Strip and Dip was held in Wicklow. Women came from all over the world to strip off all their clothes and run into the sea naked to raise 500,000 for Aven's Pink Toy.
I'm Amy Spratt, I'm 20 years old, I'm from Ashbourne in County Meath.
How are you?
Hello. When I was 6 years old, I was diagnosed with a Wilms tumour, which is a form of childhood cancer on the kidney. I remember the doctors telling my mum and dad at the time that it was quite rare. The tumour was really big, so I had to start with chemo, then into surgery to remove the tumour and the kidney as well. I don't think any parent wants to see their child have a cancer diagnosis. My dad, as the years have gone on, he's opened up and shared his experience that, yeah, he did find it tough, very tough to see his child go through that, you know, coming out of surgeries. He tells me that they were the longest 6 hours of their life, really. My mum describes Aven's Pink Toy as a ray of sunshine, like in the bleakest, darkest moments. They were just such a positive light. They were just there, you know, just present, just there. I view my story of the cancer diagnosis as a novel. I just see it as a chapter in the novel. So they just filled it with these memories that I will never forget. Meeting my hero, Kate Taylor, I will never forget that moment, holding the gold medal and feeling how heavy it was and just getting to chat to Kate Taylor. It's unbelievable. Like, I'll never forget that. It's actually hard to put into words, to say everything they did. The parties, even just something as simple as a birthday card or a present arriving at my house. Like, at the time, all my friends were learning how to ride bikes, how to swim, how to, just the normalities of, you know, growing up. But Aven's Pink Toy, they brought all that back, mixing with other children, socialising, laughter. They're a ray of sunshine, and I'll always thank Mick and Jimmy for it, always.
My name is Joyce and I'm from Waterford City, and in 2013 my daughter Felicity was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, age 10. The initial impact of it is huge because you're thrown into a world you know nothing about. You've gone from having a really, really healthy child to a child who's seriously ill in the matter of minutes. They explained her treatment would be 2.5 years long and the majority of that would be done in Crumlin. It meant as a single mum I had to give up my job. My focus just had to be on Felicity and caring for her. How are you going to survive? You're travelling up and down to Crumlin 2-3 times a week. You have no income. Your savings are gone within a matter of a couple of months. We were driving home from Crumlin one evening and I was driving to Bettystown to collect my toddler from my friend's house and my car just died on the middle of the road. That was in Meath. We live in Waterford. We don't know garages, we don't know anything, and we have a parents contact group, and I just wrote in, does anyone have any idea of how I'll get my car fixed in Meath? And the parent wrote in, contact Mick Rochford. And I made a phone call to Mick, and the first thing he asked me was, how can we help? There was no red tape, there was no form filling, and within 24 hours my car was back on the road. Aoibheann Spintire are just our family, and they're absolutely invaluable, especially to families like mine that are not living in Dublin. We don't have that immediate family support around us, and no matter when you need them, they're always there. You can't explain what it's like just being torn between having a child somewhere else and the child that's sick, but if you had this house and somewhere to stay, you can just be together, and that just means everything.
It's been brilliant seeing you again.
Time is so precious when you have a child with cancer. Nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring. About 8 months into treatment, Felicity's bone marrow completely shut down, and then she developed pneumonia, and it was our biggest fear that any infection could just take her. And I know Jimmy always explains the kids, they're like candles in the wind, that at any time their light could be extinguished. And I actually prayed that if now is the time, that maybe God would take her just to stop the suffering that we were watching. But thankfully she fought, and she fought so hard. And today she's just living her life as a happy 23-year-old.
I don't think anyone ever thinks when you're bringing a child to A&E that you're ever going to get that diagnosis. I thought it was pneumonia that she would have had because she'd been sick for weeks. It just turned your whole world upside down.
How are you? How's Millie? How's Susan? Come on in.
My name is Susan, this is Millie. We're from Ballybock in Dublin 3, and Millie was diagnosed with T-cell lymphoma in 2016. She was 3.5 then, and she had like a tumour in her chest and she had a tumour in her neck. Within 24 hours, your whole world is literally cancer. But a lot of the hearts that people don't see is the endless weeks you're going to spend on St John's ward.
How many operations did you have?
Like 18.
No, she had a lot more than that.
Really?
Well, she had a range of 14 different chemos over the space of, I think it was the first 3 months, and then she has chemotherapy at home, which the mother is trained to give. When Millie was diagnosed, we were living in a top balcony block of flats, but you learn very quickly that she's going to be immune compromised. So overnight we lost the ability to go home. The flat just wasn't going to be able to be safe enough to bring her home and keeping her infection free. So we spent 4 weeks on the ward going through all our chemotherapy, which she had every day for the first 4 weeks, and then we had nowhere to go home to. So I went to stay with my sister on her floor in a blow-up bed for nearly 3 months. I remember we were about 4 days on the ward and Linda popped her head around the door, the pink jumper, and she introduced herself as being from Aven's Pink Tie with a chemo duck. This little duck with a little central line. So that made her happy, and she had a little pack. Aven's Pink Tie provide these emergency packs, little pair of pyjamas, stuff you're going to need. The help there is where they step in and say, what is it that we can help you with? What can make your journey or your days on that ward a little bit better for you? If we had access to a house like this back when Millie needed it, it would have made a huge difference. Like for instance, I wouldn't have to leave my son on the long days that she was having chemotherapy. He would have been able to stay here with me. Here is sterile, purposely built for children going through cancer treatment. Staying here would have made a huge difference. We are very lucky that we received a grant off Aven's Pink Tie, which took off the financial burden of having a child going through this tragedy. They've become family to us, and even though Millie is a couple of years out of treatment now and afterward we still stay in contact, they're still very much involved in our family and in our life, and I'm very grateful to have met them.
The significance of this house for families travelling across the country is quite incredible. It's the lighthouse in a storm. In that terrible time, that there's somewhere that you can go that there's complete safety. And the irony of it is probably never anybody from Dublin will ever use it, because it really is for people that have to travel, and to save them that expense and to give them a home from home, some comfort in a very dark place. Sitting here today, I'm finding it extremely emotional. I've had what I call wobbles. I'm sure everybody understands that grief. It can come back to you in a big tide. And what I feel about this house now is made me even more proud of what Aoibheann's Pink Toy has achieved, what Mick and I have achieved.
You know, we started off very modestly, but our ambition was huge. Our ambition was so high. We knew we had to make the National Children's Cancer Charity so that no family would have to walk alone through the journey of childhood cancer, that every breath that we had in our body would be completely dedicated to making sure that them families would be looked after forever.
The driving force of Aoibheann's Pink Toy is the spirit of Aoibheann. And I believe Aoibheann is reaching across time and distance, and she's with us at the moment. And there's always that moment, I think, that everybody feels that Aoibheann walks in, and the spirit of Aoibheann's Pink Toy is Aoibheann, and the spirit of Aoibheann's life and love and her beautiful soul is in that house.